to stand behind this.
Yeah, looks like it.
Or I'd say the top three areas of concern that were identified were definitely the lung cancer rates, that obesity is on the rise, as well as the shortage of beds in nursing homes and homeless shelters.
And what are the top three positive trends?
Well, the top positive trends are definitely that St. John is doing fantastic in terms of the economic downturn that we've seen. It hasn't really hit St. John. We've seen an increase in wages, we've seen an increase in number of jobs, and we've also seen increases in housing starts. So St. John is definitely booming, and in the next few years will be definitely the place to watch, to keep an eye on in Canada.
Is there anything that surprised or shocked you that you discovered this time around?
Well, some things that we had seen trending down, for example, were physical activity rates were actually going up and obesity was going down. So it was interesting to see that in this last year that trend had turned away. It's good to see things like the number of births going up and to see that those babies do have appropriate birth weights and that they're staying healthy. So those are good signs for St. John.
Would you say the overall quality of life has improved over the last few reports?
Well, the overall quality of life, I mean, that's something that can be reflected in the sense of belonging and leadership. That St. Johners feel like they're part of the community. They attend arts and culture events. Although they don't get out and vote, we're not sure why, but they are active and participating in their communities. And we were the happiest place in Canada last year. So definitely, I think that St. John's trending in a good direction. So we still have a lot to do with affordable housing, and something we'll have to keep our eye on, but overall it is looking good in the housing industry.
Were you surprised by the increase in the obesity rate?
I was, yes, and again that was counter to previous trends that we'd seen, that physical activity was going up and obesity was going down. So this year, for whatever reason, was counter to that trend, and it's something we'll have to keep our eye on. We saw a huge spike when things, for example, like Harbour Passage were introduced with the Urban Nature Park, with their trails around Rockwood Park. So we did see an increase in physical activity over the last several years, and this year was the first year that it trended in the downward direction. So obesity rates obviously going up because physical activity is going down.
Could you break it out by demographic? Is it younger people, older people, or middle-aged?
Unfortunately, we didn't have statistics that really broke it out by an age category, and it is an overall population statistic.
And the teen pregnancy rate, what's happening with that?
It has come down slightly, but unfortunately the teen pregnancy rate in St. John does stay high. I don't think that we are able to claim any longer that we have the highest teenage pregnancy rate in Canada, but we still have a high teenage pregnancy rate, which is something we should be absolutely concerned about. What's going on with our young teenage women, and why is it that we see so many of our births coming to teenage mothers?
Is there something you'd like the government to do about that, to try to bring that number lower, the teen pregnancy rates?
Well, I certainly couldn't offer an answer as to what it is that has to happen. But obviously there is something that needs to be looked into as to why it is that our teenage mothers are getting into these situations. Not that we don't love and adore the children that are coming into our community, but unfortunately when children tend to be born to teenage mothers, they tend to enter into the poverty cycle. And 60% of families who live below the poverty line are single mothers and children. So,
do you think these report cards are having any kind of an impact on community leaders?
I think as we're getting year over year, now that we're into our third official vital signs report, our fourth report for the Greater St. John Community Foundation, one of the major impacts it's having on the foundation is that it's helping us look at where our funding is going. And we're also seeing it being used by other organizations in the community when they're talking to the provincial government, when they're talking to the federal government about programs and services that need to be offered in St. John. Those organizations are looking at this report and saying, here are the trends, here are the facts, this is what we need to focus on. It's helping to direct core funding and core policy for what's happening in St. John.
Thank you.